How good was Ben Roethlisberger in his prime? Hate him or love him, Ben Roethlisberger had a big impact on football during his playing days. At one point, his influence spread beyond football itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is moments like these that has made Monday Night Raw the greatest show in the history of cable television.
That's how big Big Ben was. He made big plays and won big things. Thus, many Steelers fans worship him. But then, rape accusations have put him under severe scrutiny by many. At best, this has led to endless comparison. And at worst, it has led to deep hatred.
Oh my God!
There will be no arrest made, nor criminal prosecution.
So let's put aside all the other details and just focus on football, as football fans should. How good was Ben Roethlisberger in his prime? There's only one way to find out, and we'll start with the play that placed him among football's clutch kings. Number 10, Big Clutch. Big is what every coach would want his QB to be when the game is on the line. And in the 2011 game against the Baltimore Ravens, Ben did his thing. Steelers eventually won 31-24. As for Roethlisberger, he went 19 of 32 for 226 yards to seal the victory. But you know what's crazy? These two teams had 2 wins each by 3-point margins during the previous 2 seasons, and during the Steelers' losses, Roethlisberger didn't play. Scary clutch. But listen, unlike even the best QBs, big number 9, big blocker, there is nothing Ben Roethlisberger cannot do. He is not God. But just look at dude here, stopping his own pick 6.
Roethlisberger steps up. He'll heave it. End zone, intercepted. Jacksonville gets it back with Daniel Thomas. And Thomas working the sideline.
He leaves nothing to chance and gives his all. But he took this to a whole nother level in the January 2006 game between the Colts and the Steelers. In the game's last minutes, the Colts were attempting a comeback. Nick Harper, a cornerback for the Colts, had recovered a Jerome Bettis fumble and appeared to have a clear path to the end zone for a potential game-winning touchdown. It wasn't just any QB in his way, it was Ben Roethlisberger, and he transformed from Big Ben to Big Blocker, changing touchdown. This tackle is often considered one of the most iconic and clutch defensive plays in NFL history. It played a crucial role in the Steelers' eventual victory over the Colts. The Steelers went on to win the game 21-18. And eventually won Super Bowl 40 that year. Seriously, if you see Steelers fans worshiping him, don't stress it. He did it all for them. And if you think he's too fat, he can never score a rushing touchdown, you're wrong. Number 8, big runner. So here's an interesting fact. Back in high school, Roethlisberger played the role of a wide receiver. The school's coach, Cliff Height, had a son who was the QB, and he's quoted saying, "My son throwing to Ben was a better combination." Also during that time, Roethlisberger was captain of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. So the legend was used to doing it all, even from a young age. And speaking of young age, listen to him speak about scoring an 80-yard rushing touchdown in college.
I had an 80-yard touchdown run.
Oh, is that old Crazy Legs? That's old Crazy Legs?
I had that on my phone. Yeah, I dropped back to pass. It was like a quarterback draw, dropped back and started running, was like weaving back and forth, get to the sideline. The last 10 yards, I'm running like this.
Just imagine that, 80 yards.
20, 15, 10, still on his feet, touchdown, Pittsburgh!
That's crazy. By the way, apart from Steelers fans, all football fans understand that Big Ben's 2022 retirement marked the end of an era for one of the game's best rivalries, Ravens versus Steelers. He's the last key figure from the set of players that... Number 7, Big Ben's world. Here's another fact that might interest you. Back in 2004, the most popular burger in Pittsburgh was the Roethlisberger. Sold at Pepe's restaurant, this delicacy contained ground beef, scrambled eggs, situation, and the Steelers down 3-10. Big Ben did the fake back-to-back before passing for the touchdown. Oh, geez. The pass rushers just couldn't see the ball. Now how about the time the cameraman himself couldn't see the ball?
Harris sets up 3rd and 7. Roethlisberger pump fakes, fires into the end zone, and has his man.
Until tight end Pat Freiermuth got it for the touchdown. He's like John Cena sometimes. But even when he is seen, he still manages to Cowboys in 2020. And Roethlisberger was suffering from a left knee injury. But even as he limped around the backfield, he kept on directing the game while completing passes. But even then, the Steelers were behind, and it seemed certain that the Cowboys would seize the day. But whatever the day and whatever the game, Big Ben can become a big spoiler. In a 2nd and 5 situation, Roethlisberger engineered a Steelers touchdown. After that, he had to go to the locker room as the pain got worse. But then, Dallas were leading 13-6. He had unfinished business. So he returned in the second half and finished unbeaten run that year. There really isn't a player like him. In 2016, he did magic, going from Big Ben to a big winner. Number 5, big game winner. As I said earlier, Steelers versus Ravens games will never be the same again with Big Ben's retirement, and their 2016 game explains why. See, for most of the game, the Ravens seemed like winners. The end zone with his left hand to cap a wild fourth quarter. With that, the Steelers won 31-27 and secured their 2nd division title in 3 years. Seriously, what couldn't he do? Well, he can't punt, for sure, right? Wrong. Number 4, big punter. You see, in a game against the Cleveland Browns, Roethlisberger managed to pin the Browns at their 1-yard line. This is in addition to completing 22 of 34 passes for 217 yards and 2 touchdowns. While he makes his crazy passes with his right hand, Big Ben took this pooch punt with his left leg on 4th and 18 and had everyone in awe. It wasn't a big deal as it was his 5th pooch punt. And besides getting it right, Pittsburgh won the match 27-11. Seriously, is there another QB in the NFL doing this much for his team? Hit the comments section and let us know. Speaking of hits, kindly hit the subscribe button to help the channel out. Also hit the like button and notification bell. That way you help us serve you better. Alright, we're at the top 3, and what better way to show prime Roethlisberger than to take you back to the game where he played so poorly, but still ended up deciding the game. Number 3, big rush. The Week 11 matchup between the Steelers and the Jaguars was one of Big Ben's worst games ever. Roethlisberger threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which were picked off by Jalen Ramsey, plus 2 others that were called back because of penalties. With that, it wasn't surprising that the Steelers couldn't score in the first half. Now, that was the first time that had happened in 2 years, so it was really bad. So the Jaguars took a 16-0 lead with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. In fact, they kept control of the game until the last 5 minutes, which was when Ben finally regained himself. He muscled his way over the goal line.
It's most of the way, coming up big, running like an option, gonna keep it, dives! Did he break it? Yes, he did! Touchdown, Pittsburgh!
To give the Steelers a 2016 victory. A wild, wild way to end the game. But next is when Big Ben went beast mode back-to-back, only for the NFL world to act like it was nothing. Number 2, big beast. So, in a completing 40 of 49 passes for 522 yards and 6 touchdowns. That was crazy. But what's even crazier is the fact that he did it just like a week later. Can you believe that? 12 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Never before Manning or Mahomes. But even then, the NFL only considers him the 19th best QB ever. Well, the fact remains that Big Ben is a beast, and our number 1 play proves it. Number 1, big winner. Listen, there are not many players that make coaches react like this. But Big Ben brings out the big guns for the big games. And the Super Bowl 43 final between the Steelers and the Cardinals was one such a game. The night was full of drama, but Roethlisberger had the final say. One such play came during a Big Ben became the 2nd youngest football player to win a Super Bowl. Man, Ben really did it all. He comes through in the clutch, punts, tackles, rushing touchdowns, and game-winning passes. Is there any quarterback like him ever? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, let us know the video you'd like to see on this channel.